gonna pick up in there. I got these little speakers at the computer here. It's pegged. I've got it. Everything's on 100. It's a maxed out volume. The amp's way back there, and it's sounds reasonably balanced to me for where I'm sitting. The amp almost sounds a little bit loud, but then when I've packed some of my other videos, I put it on, I'm like, wow, I can hardly hear the guitar, and it sounded loud to me, because the speakers are facing the camera. They're right here, like close to the camera, and they're facing that, so I don't hear that, the track itself, as much as I hear the amp. Anyways, this is just a more lesson stuff. Here's a basic rock and roll boogie, basic thing in A. Just give some people some hints outside of using just the A minor pentatonic. Of course you can use that, but this is a little bit other than, like really, especially using the major third when it's on the A chord instead of the minor third. So just those little kind of things on a basic boogie, you know, out of A. I'm actually playing a mixolydian flavor, which is just the only difference from a A minor pentatonic is the major third. Instead of, I'm going. So instead of, it's. So if I'll demonstrate that it just gives more flavor. Of course you can use just your minor pentatonic, but this gives it more of a melodic feel. And then when it goes to the D, I'm actually using what's called a Dorian, which is the second block out of G major. When it's on the D chord. So this is that, just the minor pentatonic is fine, but you got anything else? You know what I mean? That's all I'm saying. It's that major third, you know, you can hammer on from minor third to major third. It's much more tasteful when it's on the A chord. That's your major third note instead of a minor third. So you could actually go a whole bar going. I'll demonstrate it. And then when it goes to the D chord, and then I'm going. Well, it's not on the D for very long, so I'll demonstrate. And I'll just simply play lazily just those two different things on the chords, over the chords. So we'll get to where it starts on the A. The same thing there. I'm playing on the, when it's on the A, I'm just doing the E note, I'm playing off the 5 of the A. Well, it's on the A. There's no minor in there. You don't want. You could, but I personally think it's lame and it gets old, and it's okay to do that somewhere to break it up, but you really want to, I think it's much more flavorful with it, you know. And then I'm sliding down when it goes to the D chord. You can mix in the minor with the major, but I typically usually bend that, you know. So mix it up with the minor pentatonic, you know. This is, that way you're not wearing it out, and, you know, you got to keep it interesting. That's heavy A mixolydian, starting with the E note. You know, it's that major third and the minor 7 note and the 6. So there you go, a little lesson on that. So we'll do, and that's one of the tracks, a similar track that I used to play to, where I just did it going up one string. That's just mixolydian, A mixolydian going up one string. And then I'm landing on that A right there when it hits the D chord. I'll demonstrate. Just a little demonstration on sweetening up a basic boogie, you know. You get into that mixolydian on whether it's a blues or a boogie. With the blues, when it's a slow one, I use minor pentatonic. I use Dorian. I use mixolydian. I use flat 5. But I look for, you know, trying to mix it and do it tasteful to the groove. Anyways, there you go. A little thing for your boogies or your blues. you know, get involved with that mixolydian. Right there. And then find again, like I taught on the pentatonics on the fretboard, find everywhere that is, you know. So it's really comes out of the D major scale blocks. So I could play out of a B natural minor spot, kind of, and utilize notes there. Now it's crazy because it's B minor. But I use that block, but I'll start with the harmony note of that, the major third note of the A. See? It's out of all the scale blocks of D major is what, you know, I might run up and just do some other version high. Now that's right out of the D block. But I'm starting with the minor, the 5 of the A, and then the minor 7 note, or dominant 7 they call it, behind the A. So this, when you get all your scale blocks down, again, I taught on the other day, I posted just based on like a D-A-E thing. Well, you got all your blues and stuff, the same thing. When it's playing the A chord, I'm actually playing out of all the scale blocks of D major, but I'm favoring the mixolydian flavor. E Dorian, the second block of D major, to this. So you got E Dorian when you but there's also a mixolydian in there, or a partial of it, and I'm just playing to flavor tastefully to that A chord. And I could bend the minor third up to a major third. And that's what I typically would do. I'll demonstrate it. So scale blocks of D major is what I kind of go into, but I pull up basically heavy on the mixolydian flavor. Or part of the mixolydian flavor. Out of E Dorian block. And it doesn't have to be anything fast. It doesn't need to be, you know, ripping or whatever you want to call it. I used to do that once in a while. You know, when I was playing a lot, I had a little bit, but I focus on taste. You don't need speed. You just need to know your scale blocks and. You know, that's right out of the D major block itself. Right? but I'm favoring to that A chord. See that right out of there? And you can sit there and work out however you want that to flavor. You know, so there you out of your E Dorian for that A chord. So there you go. And I love that kind of stuff too. This stuff here with the or whatever I have. Let's see. You know? You know, you could stay right there for that D when it goes to the D. So we'll say it's time. Let's demonstrate it. I'll try to make up a riff. I have, you know, I might screw it up. Lesson on, you know, thing other than just the straight minor pentatonic that you can do to a simple boogie, you know. And even if the track is fast, you don't need speed to play something that'll sound decent to it. Just learn those scale blocks, and they're in there. All the D major scale blocks, you can pull out that A mixolydian. What? Alright, so just a little lesson. I just got done doing some laundry, making my bed, and walking the dog, and eating lunch, a late lunch, and blah blah blah. I figured I'd throw in a little tidbit for y'all for your basic boogie stuff.